Welcome to Midweek Service provided by the Church Sound Podcast. This is our version of tech news with your host, Prentiss Thompson. Have you ever wondered, how do I mic a drum set, or what about getting audio to my live stream? We're here for you. This is tech news, new product reviews, and everything you need to know about what you need to know. Welcome to Midweek Service. Yes. Welcome to another edition of Midweek Service, which is brought to you tech news through the Church Sound Podcast. I'm your humble host, Mr. Prentiss Thompson, and today we're going to talk about limiting. Now, I'm pretty sure you've listened to our segment on compression and what is compression. So if you're not sure about that, go back, listen to it. It's labeled compression. Today, we're going to talk about limiting. Now, limiting is a little different, but you can't use a compressor as a limiter in some sorts. It's a different way to look at it. Like a compressor, a limiter has thresholds. Now, if you look at the controls of a compressor, you have ratio, you have threshold, you have attack, you have release, and you have gain makeup. Now, a limiter has higher thresholds, right? So a limiter works a little differently than a compressor. A limiter won't let the sound get louder than the threshold. If you place the limiter with a threshold of 0 on your mix or your channel, the limiter will keep the mix from getting even louder than 0 dB, right? So it's what we call a brick wall. You know, the limiter is a brick wall. That's why we call it that for a reason. Now, where would you use a limiter? Most times you're going to use it on a bus. So you're going to use a limiter on a bus to have control of all your main output. Mixing records, you use limiters on just about all your buses. You would send your buses for different sections of your mixes. So for instance, you're mixing front of house and you have a bus for all the background singers. You have a bus for the drums. You have a bus for the guitars, the bass, because it allows you to make quick changes. So on those buses, you would have a limiter. You have an adaptive limiter. So I'm going to share my screen. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, I'll show you a few things. I'm not going to show you an active one, but I can show you a picture. So here you go. There's your gain, your ceiling, and your look ahead. So what it's doing is it's looking at the output of your mix, and it's allowing you to keep it at a certain level. Why is that important? How come I can't use a compressor as a limiter as a compressor? I'm using it for different reasons. Now, you can use a compressor as a limiter. You can. But the compressor looks at things differently. The compressor looks at the attack, the ratio, the ceiling, the output, the gain makeup. Limiter doesn't do that. Limiter says, this is how loud you want it. This is how loud it's going to be. But it's going to feel like I'm not holding it back. So it's going to feel more natural. So hopefully that explains it. Best thing you can do, practice. Go out there, get on a mix, and sound check and rehearsal. Best place to try out stuff in rehearsal. Throw a limiter on a bus and see how it responds. And then if you have a digital mixer, save it as a preset. Very cool to do. We're going to talk about that. Saving your mixes as presets comes in handy, especially in doing a digital mixer. Well, that's it for this week on Midweek Service. I hope you guys got a nugget of information, kind of understand the difference between a compressor and a limiter. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We're trying to be a service to all people. Lastly, if you're a church that needs some help, go to www.invisibleministry.com. That's at www.invisibleministry.com, and leave your email. We'll get back to you if you need some help at your church, and we're here to provide a service for you. I'm here for you. We'll see you next time. Make sure you tune in Tuesday to our weekly podcast, Church Sound Podcast. Hope all is well. See you on the other side. Well, as I always say, see you in the Matrix.